Hi, everybody. Horace again. It's an absolute pleasure to talk with you today. I just wanted to take like less than 10 minutes to have a one on one with you, have a conversation today about how my day went, and how generally. I'm not scripting this, by the way. Let's just have a talk, you and me, about how we can support each other and support those around us and enrich our lives with real life experiences, right? So today I crammed four of my friends and myself into my car and I drove. I took the day off of work using PTO and I drove all the way to Syracuse. Hours, literally hours and hours and hours and hours and hours in a car today. Drove all the way to Syracuse to do a few things. We went to the Rosamond Gifford Zoo. I'll put several pictures on the screen from all the things we did today on the screen. We went to a nice hole in the wall diner. We were like the only people there. It was awesome. And I had some food that I've never had anywhere else. We went to the Everson Museum of Art, as well as the Destiny USA Mall. And one of my friends who is has their learner's permit even got to get like 100 miles of experience on the highway driving my car. So all of this is to say life is full of experiences, right? I'm sure you've had them yourself. Or if you're somebody who's a bit more closeted, you stay in a lot more, that's okay. I don't blame you for that. I just hope that you get out of your shell and go experience some stuff. These these resources that we have available in our communities, even if you have to travel pretty far, are very enriching, right? And I think that it's important for us, with our bodies and what little money we have, to support them in any way we can. For example, the Everson Museum of Art that we went to was awesome, and but they today was a pay what you want day because they had several exhibits that weren't available. And instead of going in for free, which almost everybody did, I convinced everybody in my group to chip in $5 each to a total of like $25. It's not much, but they probably got more from us than most people that went there that day. And that's making a difference in a very small way. Because that Museum of Art is primarily run by volunteers, for example. They don't make a lot of money, so they can't exactly pay a bunch of people to be there. But they have a lot of volunteers because these people appreciate the arts and they want to protect and preserve these art pieces. It was really cool there. They even had there was a fella, I forgot his name unfortunately, but he had carved out these rocking chairs. In and they got them from his property along with some other statues. He puts angels in like everything he makes. But these rocking chairs, they had a sign saying that if you wanted a demonstration to go ask. I'm like, why would we need somebody to demonstrate a rocking chair, right? They were organs, like musical organs. And you played them by rocking the chair back and forth. And we didn't know that until we got the demonstration. And we all just like jaws hit the floor. It's like a train. Oh, I see it. That's awesome. All made by one guy in his own garage, just a woodworker. Really cool, right? And he passed, and the stuff got brought from his property directly to the museum. And that is something that I've never in my life even thought about somebody doing, making a rocking chair organ, right? That's so cool. And they had these weird moving parts as well. As you rocked, the energy that it generated would rock, like move stuff around the chairs as well as playing the music. And it's really cool. I saw one of the most beautiful paintings I've ever seen in person there as well. I was awestruck. I was dumbfounded. I'll put again pictures, videos on the screen. I would love to share these with you. And the pottery that we saw in the basement level was also incredible. And that was just the Museum of Art. It's awesome. We took a bunch of pictures and we got to see all of these different things. A lot of my crew didn't get the same awestruck aura that I did from the art museum. I was dumbfounded. I was stuck thinking about every brush stroke. I was looking at what each different piece of art was made out of. One of them, it was painted onto a slab of petrified wood, and we all thought it was stone, but I went and looked, and I got the brochure that they had, and I looked at the description of it, and it was wood, and I was dumbfounded. It looked like stone, and that was so impressive to me. And this one painting was painted by somebody and just donated. They just gave it as a gift to the museum, this gigantic, beautiful, gorgeous oil painting. Absolutely incredible. That is such an incredible resource run by the awesome volunteer work of people. And it is not only educational, but very enriching for the mind. And that is something that I encourage anybody to go do. If you can go travel to an art museum of some kind, highly recommend it. Even if you don't think you're going to be super into it, you're going to leave with something. And don't just glance at stuff, take pictures with your phone and walk on. Look at these pieces. Get your eyes close to them and admire them. Really absorb them. Visualize you making the brushstrokes. And you get to feel what was in somebody's mind and thought space at the time of them working on it and wonder where it all came from. Every brushstroke, what direction it started in. Very incredible. In the zoo. The zoo is another resource that, oh my God, zoos are incredible. The preservation of these incredible species is something that cannot be understated. At this zoo, for example, there was a frog exhibit, right? And they had frogs there that were completely extinct in the wild, kept alive, and along with an assisted breeding program in that zoo. They had a big cat there. Forgive me, I'm forgetting what particular type of cat it was, but this poor fellow is one of 77, if my numbers are correct. There's 77 globally in captivity and like 80 in the wild. Not even 200 of this poor species of big cat are in the wild, but because of these wonderful resources, they are preserved and have been prevented from going extinct. And with just your small patronage of $1, or for me, $9 to go have a great time with some friends, take a bunch of awesome pictures, and we had so much fun, and I learned things. And that one moment is such a huge support network, because it's not just you. It starts with you. Your one step into that zoo, paying the entrance fee, is the work of hundreds of other people going there and doing the same. A collective of people collaborating and collecting their money to help support this initiative. And that is one of the things that cannot be understated, the importance of. Zoos are such an incredible resource for not only bringing us into nature where we would never be able to see it in suburbia, in our cityscapes, but also to teach young children. There were so many kids there at that zoo, and I loved to see that. We were stuck for like 20 minutes watching the elephant exhibit, the Asian elephants, dumbstruck. We did not see animals just sitting there staring at us. Almost every exhibit. We got very lucky. It rained all day, every year, every single year. It rains on my birthday, right? Every year, all day. Of course. So we knew that was going to happen. I bought a poncho at the gift shop, bought an umbrella at the gift shop, passed them around, and we sat out there in the rain watching these elephants. They were having a blast. They were swimming around in this really deep swimming hole and bathing and hanging out, and it was so cool to just watch these elephants in their element. Some of them were in the exercise area having a good time. They were, oh my God, the two little baby elephants were playing with each other in the water and like pushing each other under the water with their trunks, and it was absolutely amazing to see. I love elephants.
Ooh.
Bro, watching an elephant swim is sick.
Dude, we've seen all the animals swim.
I love how it's raining and all the elephants are like, you know what, let's swim.
Yeah, this is a good idea. So these are all the girls. And babies.
Well, they're all girls except for Doc, and he's over there lifting weights. Hi! You're waving at us. Hi! Hi! This is sick. Bro, look at the babies. They're playing with their trunks. Ah! Hi.
I'm trying to see if the one in the little pond is what's her face? The oldest and largest female has the big, pronounced like eyebrows. It's not that one. And this one's like fast to me.
So, oh god, it was awesome. We had at one point, this was so surreal. We had a camel. We had a camel stop eating, come over to where we were, and you could see his eyes following us, and he just came over and looked at us. What's up, buddy? Hi.
Hi.
Oh, you're just getting a look at us? Hi.
For pictures.
Yo.
He thought he was gonna get
Yo, that was awesome. That was awesome. He got that good itch.
Hi there. What's up?
I'll
You're
be
just
able to try.
dead staring.
He's actually looking at us. It's awesome. What's up, buddy?
Look at his chops. He's gonna spit. He's gonna. No, he's gonna. He said he looks like a good meal. I want.
You know, you never see a camel up close. They're
He
actually,
really likes the yellow. True.
Yeah.
He's like side eyeing you there. He's like, oh, yeah.
He's like, you look delicious.
and he looked at us, just checking us out for a couple minutes. Just to make sure we're on the up and up, and then he went on his merry way. But he made eye contact with us. You can see here how good of a time I had there, even as a full-blown adult. It's not just kid stuff. A zoo is awesome. I love zoos. There were penguins, there were monkeys, and they had fucking wolves. They had all this stuff.
Somehow gets. I would imagine that's probably an issue. Hi, buddy. PG-13.
And the idea that these animals that are literally, some of them going extinct, have no home if we don't support these initiatives breaks my heart. And I hope it has an effect on you too. I want you to go to these places, go to a zoo, $9, right? $9 to get in and have a great few hours with your friends. And just realize how much your $9 made a difference. Everybody going there and spending that entrance fee really helps to keep these places going. It takes an ungodly amount of money to keep these places on the up and up, not only from the employees, as well as hundreds of volunteers that help to build these exhibits and keep these animals safe and healthy and fed. But not only that, it's also the work of so many other people that are being paid, that have 401ks, they have their salaries, they get paid, some of them get paid hourly. It's a lot. The food for these animals, maintaining the grounds, giving them actual good exhibits where they can have fun and enjoy themselves and feel immersed in what they believe is their wildness. What's up, little guys? What's up, little piggies? Yo, they got them long noses. I want to boop the snoot. I want to boop the snoot. But I'll tell you, I was very enriched from these experiences. I was constantly, throughout my day, thinking of so many things. Thinking of all these different variables and experiences, not just that I was having, but the animals, the art, all of it. There was so much I was thinking about. And I got to think about all of that while also walking around the Destin USA Mall. Massive, one of the biggest malls in the world, huge fucking mall. It's a labyrinth. It is an actual labyrinth. I got lost in that mall multiple times. You can walk down a really long hallway, and then all of a sudden you're in a new section of the mall that you didn't even know was there, and you're like, what the hell happened? Did I walk into the back rooms, the Twilight Zone? I went to the bathroom at one point, and this weird bathroom I was in was all the way in the corner by the go-karts, indoor go-karts, at this giant mall, one stall, and there was nobody else around. I felt like I was in the back rooms. And that mall, the height of consumerism, but still, there's still small businesses and lives being affected, I just bit my cheek, by your patronage. Even though, like, blah, blah, capitalism bad, whatever, that's still a way you can enrich the lives of others with your presence and having your own experiences going out and living your life. I can't recommend it enough. Even just walking around that gigantic mall and looking at all the different stores and things, even though I didn't buy I bought chocolates for myself for my birthday. I bought some chocolates. Wonderful woman behind the counter, very kind, from Gertrude Hawk Chocolates. Pretty good. It's thick and rich peanut butter, and it's that type of peanut butter that sticks to your mouth immediately when you bite into them, so you know it's real peanut butter. It was crazy walking around that gigantic mall and experiencing decades of humanity in there. Because the mall is so big, there are sections of it that have not been redesigned for 40 years. And you could see it has this vintage tiling. There was this 2-story store that had gone out of business forever ago, and nobody had bought the space yet. So they still have this vintage tiling all across the front of it on both floors, and that was so surreal to see that. It was like a time capsule. As well as many different vintage, like little statues and art pieces scattered around, some decorum. God, it was such a unique experience to go there. Because I've been to malls, right? But that was a friggin' huge mall. And not only is it a huge mall, it's a historic mall. It's been there for a long time. So there's so much more than just the consumerism. It's like a slice of America in there, with all these different decades being represented in different wings of the mall. Even small business was represented there. There were this kiosk section. I say kiosk. They called it the outlets, where smaller businesses were able to get booths and sell stuff there. That was really cool. You know, I did have a good day, but there are downsides to these experiences you can have with people, and one of them is when they end, right? And that's its own bittersweet ending. I started dropping off all my friends, and as each of them left the car and got out the door, it started getting a little more sad. And by the time I was driving home, I was actually got really depressed. I was super lonely, and I was thinking, wow, this is how my birthday ends. Alone. Had a relationship end a couple weeks ago. 2-year relationship. That was so. I'm going to bed alone. I'm home alone. I've got my dog Magnus, and that's it. So it's a very lonely existence right now, and that's part of why I wanted us to have this conversation. I'm so lonely, I missed you, and I wanted to talk to you. So even though I've just been kind of rambling for 20 minutes, I hope you got something out of this conversation that we've had, my friend. So, isn't it incredible that we live a life where we can have these experiences, writing our own pages of a story in our head, in our lives, and then at the end of the day, we get to put a pin in that page, close the book, go to bed, reset, and start it all again tomorrow. We live such a unique existence as human beings. We're so complex. Life is so hard. There's so many layers to every decision you make and every step you take. I'll be missing. But the point being, I want you to be able to know you're not alone, right? If you had a day where you hung out with people, had a good time, and you went home and felt lonely, I'm right there with you. You're never really alone because I'm there with you. I felt the same way. Our souls are linked across the country. I get it. You're never alone in how you feel, okay? It would make me so heartbroken to think that you feel alone, because you're not. And if you ever need somebody to talk to, please hop in the Discord below. Just reach out to me via DM at any time, any hour. If I'm not asleep, I will read it. And if it's an important message, you're pouring your heart out, I will not let you feel alone, okay? Even if it's a little one of those, just like, hey, horse, like your videos, hope you're having a good day. I might not respond, but I always read them, okay? If you just want to be heard, you can talk to me anytime, and I will read what you send me, okay? You will always be heard by me, no matter what. I can promise you that. Wow, I'm just kind of venting. I used to, back in the day, a little story about me quick before we sign off here. I had a little podcast that called The Stable, and it was like a quality of life podcast, talking about my issues in my life, like depression, etc. I would make almost no cuts. I would leave in these massive, like, few minute long pauses if I didn't know what to say. It was ASMR, like, I would just get right up against the mic and talk like this. Like, just really sensual, close conversations. And I treated every podcast episode like it was a one-on-one. And the audio quality was terrible. It was before I had this microphone. And I hated it because I looked back on it and it was just super depressing. And the microphone quality, the audio quality was so bad, and it made me want to punch a hole in my monitor. But even then, there were still a few people that ended up listening to it. It was on SoundCloud. And it probably doesn't even exist on that platform anymore. But, this is a similar, much more condensed vibe of what I was going for there. This isn't me starting a new podcast, I don't think. I just wanted to talk about my birthday that I had today. With a friend, with you, my friend. And talk about your day a little bit. I wanted to talk about your day a little bit. So, I don't really know where I was going with this. I'm just happy to talk to you. I hope you like the videos, photos, whatever else I put on the screen, and I hope that you have a good day too. Tomorrow, today, whenever it is, I hope your days are good. And if you ever need anything, don't be afraid to ask. I'll be happy to help you if I can. Okay? Be well. Memorial Day is coming up, right? So remember those we've lost. Salute somebody if you want to. Hug somebody if you want to. Handshake if you want to. But just remember, as you go into Memorial Day, it's a very important day for a lot of people. A lot of lives have been lost over the course of our nation's history. And for anybody who's had that loss, it goes so beyond the wealth of your nation. It's a personal tragedy. It's a personal death. And there's no scars deeper. So, go into Memorial Day not sad, but with compassion and an understanding that even though for you, Memorial Day might be a day off from work where you get to play games or go on a picnic, go swimming, Memorial Day is also a day where some people live the worst moments of their life over again. They're going to a grave to put flowers. They're looking through old photo albums and remembering who they lost. They're flipping through their phone to see pictures they took with them. Pictures they have of them as a kid. So, have a good Memorial Day. But just have some empathy. And if you see anybody else in your life, even if they didn't serve, had nothing to do with the military, just appreciate what you have, okay? Even if it's just the roof over your head or the computer in front of you. Life is a blessing, and we cannot squander it. We get one life. We get one life spinning around the sun until we croak. We can't waste these opportunities. I'm 26 now. And as lonely as I felt tonight, this was very nice. This was helpful. So thank you for hanging out with me. And thank you for talking and listening to me ramble. I'm sorry. There wasn't really a point to this video. I'm uploading what I want now. I don't adhere to a Hunt Showdown schedule. Take that, David Fifield. Thank you to the members and patrons for making me think that this dream could happen one day. And stay blessed, everybody. Love you guys.
Shoulder to shoulder.
Hell yeah, Daddy. That's how I like it.
Yeah.
Next to my man. Let's go.